So since it's asking to find area, we have to ask ourselves, what is more useful for us in the area formula? The radius or the diameter? And since the area formula is pi r squared, and we need a radius to find that, we're going to use the circumference formula of c equals 2 pi r. So circumference is 18. I'm going to plug 18 in for c. So 18 equals 2 pi r. Remember, just like the problem above, we have to get r by itself. You could do this in one step if you're careful, or two separate steps. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi, because that's the inverse of multiplying. And when I type that in my calculator, 18 divided by, in parentheses, 2 pi, I'm getting about 2.86. So 2.86 is about my radius. But unlike the problem above, I cannot stop here. I am not done. Because the problem did not ask us to find the radius, it asked us to find the area. So in order to find the area formula is pi r squared. I know the radius now because I found it. So I can take that and plug it in for r in the area formula. So I would write pi times 2.86 squared. So when I type that in, pi 2.86 squared, I'm getting an area of about 25 point, I'm going to do hundredths. So since this 6 would bump this up to a 10, that would bump that up to a 7. So it'd be about 25.7 miles squared because it's area. So that was a little different. We're going to do one more together. So find the circumference of a circle. So now we're finding circumference. And they're giving us that the area is 22 square miles. So we're finding circumference and we're given area. So since we're given area, we start with area. So I'm going to take 22 and plug it in for A. So 22 is pi r squared. Now in order to find circumference, I either need a radius or a diameter to plug into one of the circumference formulas. Here it looks like I'm going to be getting a radius once I solve. So I'm going to divide by pi on both sides. It's the inverse of multiplying. 22 divided by pi. I'm getting about 7.00 is about r squared. The inverse of squaring is square rooting. So if I take the square root of 7, I'm getting about 2.65 for my radius. But again, you cannot stop here because you did not answer the question. The question says find circumference. So since I'm given the radius, it is easiest to use the 2 pi r formula for circumference. Because now I have an r value that I can plug in to that circumference formula. So circumference is 2 pi times 2.65. That's the radius. So I'm going to type that in. 2 pi times 2.65. And I'm getting this circumference to be about 16.65 miles. So the important thing for these problems on the back of your notes is to identify what are they asking you to find and what do they give you. You always start with the formula of what they give you. They give you area, you start with area formula. They give you circumference, you start with the circumference formula. And then you have to use those formulas, plug in the information they gave you to find what they're asking.